So what I want to talk about today is old bikes. This bike is a 1990 XT350. Obviously, it's 1990, 34 years old. All right, why didn't I buy a new bike? Well, first of all, they're very expensive. So that was the first problem with new bikes. The other problem is do I really need a new bike? I mean, yeah, my suspension's outdated, my brakes are outdated, the electronics are outdated. You know, I get all that. My engine's not outdated though. I mean, that's an awesome little engine, 349cc with dual carbs and twin exhaust ports, single cylinder, twin overhead cams, 4-valve, 6-speed transmission. The engine's not outdated. And you know, even though the suspension's outdated, I still got 10 inches of suspension travel. And in the back, I got a fully adjustable single shock progressive link rear suspension. Yeah, it's outdated, but it still works really well. You know, and yeah, the brakes are outdated. You know, I got a single piston, single caliper front disc brake. There's no vents or slots or squigglies or anything in it. But you know what? It stops the bike really good with one finger. One finger on the brake stops this bike, and it feels really nice. The rear brake, yeah, it's a drum brake. What can I say? It stops the bike as well as a drum brake can stop a bike. But you know what? It stops the bike. Okay, now let's talk about electronics. Electronics on this bike are very, very simple. It has an electronic ignition, obviously. There's no points or anything like that on it. However, the only electronics it has is what's necessary for the ignition and the lights. That's it, nothing else. So it does everything it was supposed to do when it was new. It does it just as well. It stops well, it corners well, it climbs well. It's got plenty of suspension travel. I can put both feet firmly on the ground, and I'm not a tall man. I got the old 30-inch inseam, and I got 10 inches of ground clearance. How do they do that? And I got a comfortable seating position. How do they do that? I don't know. There's, you know, it's very, very, very reliable. I mean, now let's talk about maintenance. How often you guys on your newer bikes, how often do you got to change your oil? What kind of oil do you use? You know what I use? I use any 10W40 that's available. I prefer 4-stroke motorcycle oil, but it doesn't have to be synthetic. It just has to be non-detergent 10W40. Preferably motorcycle oil because it has a wet clutch, but any old oil will do. And you know what my oil change intervals are? 4,000 miles or 6 months. Come on. You know what the oil filter change interval is? 8,000 miles or when you change the oil. So that's all I'm saying is if you're looking for a bike and you really don't want to spend a lot of money, I paid $1,000 for this machine. Some assembly required. It was in a couple of containers. If you're mechanically inclined, get yourself a bike, you know. I'm 66 years old. I love this little bike. So all told, I got 1,800 bucks into this bike. Cost me 200 bucks a year to insure it. It gets 60 miles to the gallon all day long. That's a 190 mile range. It's got a 3.2 gallon tank.